try to get me. Tell me now, I want you to be clear, yeah. Tell me now, I need you to be clear, yeah. I will wait for you, for you. I will wait for you. I will wait for you. I will wait for you.
In this mythical world, full of mythical characters and creatures, Drake is just another written deity in the history books, just like many others of the entertainment world. But it's all just a figment of the imagination. Drake's story, like many others, are full of riddles and plot twists that are told like a myth, to be imagined like any Greek, Egyptian, mythological gods, goddesses, heroes, and are venerated like the ancient Greeks. The elites manufacture these characters, and their names are assigned to different artists, as the masses worship their fictional gods subconsciously. Characters, such as YK Osiris and Ice Spice, whose real name is Isis, supposedly. Is that a coincidence? I think not, but we'll delve deeper into Ice Spice and her connection to Drake later on in this film. But Drake is just another one of the elite's created mythical gods. This is why the rapper Hospin states that he is only a fan of the idea of Drake.
I'm a fan of Drake. I'm a fan of the idea of Drake.
What do you mean by the idea of Drake? What does that mean?
Meaning that if he has a ghostwriter, he's an idea. He's not meaning that it's a perception created that he's not really writing the lyrics, and it's just like here, let's make this in the factory and put it out.
Everything about his life story is fabricated when the character dies. He is then viewed in the highest honors, such as Jesus Christ amongst the sheep, as some form of folkloric tale. Conspiracy theories of the so-called Illuminati secrets are supposedly exposed by the higher-ups puppets, who are just controlled opposition. These theories are driven into your head and spread throughout the internet as a distraction as they gradually normalize their practices and rituals in culture. The idea of entertainers selling their souls is a complete fallacy. Take a look out in today's society and the rise of the internet and tell me who isn't selling their soul in some fashion for what they would call clout to earn more money. It's all smoking mirrors and one big illusion. Many of the evil, demonic things that were supposedly hidden that is occurring behind closed doors in the Illuminati world has been happening to us for many years now, such as mind control programming, pansexuality, women worshipping the stars, the moon, horoscopes and zodiac signs, using sage, and now females are increasingly becoming fascinated with playing with crystals. All these rituals were created step by step to gradually open the door for witchcraft. My theory on the reason that I believe celebrities are given the title as stars because the celebrities normalize every agenda. The elites are slowly convincing the sheep to distance themselves from God and religion. So how easy would it be for them to worship the elites' demonic deities and worship the stars when they've already been worshiping the entertainers, who they've heard be referred to as stars their entire existence? The sun is just a star in the sky as well. Thus why the higher-ups are promoting sun worship. When you stare at a celebrity, you can be starstruck, and just like the stars in the sky, celebrities are beyond reach and it's hard to get close to them, just like the stars in the sky. If Satan is the father of music, then why do the sheep love listening to gangster rap, trap music, drill music, and all of the other dirty music that is sensationalized in pop culture? Years ago, there was this conspiracy theory that so-called celebrity cults would meet up, do rituals to worship a huge owl, but remember that is all one big illusion. Those who consume Drake's music or even discuss him whenever he's a trending topic, whether you like him or not, is still a form of worship in some way. So we all didn't have to meet up to worship that big owl, because Drake label represents it. Drake is signed to his own imprint, October's very own. The logo of the label is an owl. Let's dissect the deeper meaning behind the owl. Upon research it said that October is the month of the owls. Moonlight prowls showcase the nocturnal raptor. Researchers reveal that technically birds are raptors, which would make the owl fall under the category of a raptor. And how ironic is it that Drake is the global ambassador for the Toronto Raptors?
But otherwise, it's like you tried to sacrifice me, bro. You tried to sacrifice me.
SMS, triple X. That's the only time I ever shoot below the neck. Why you keep on shooting if you know that nigga dead?
But otherwise, it's like you tried to sacrifice me, bro. You tried to sacrifice me. Otherwise, it's like you tried to sacrifice me, bro. You tried to sacrifice me.
Drake's life is scripted from his birthday till his death date. his fake MySpace rise, etc. I also think Drake has a connection with Sir Francis Drake. My theory of the connection of Drake and Sir Francis Drake ties into Drake being discovered by the Prince, that being Jazz Prince, who's the son of Jay Prince, which I believe is all a plot twist because Sir Francis Drake was anointed by a female, who was Queen Elizabeth, in which they were all forms of rulers of Britain and England. This would then explain why Drake would release an album and music with 21 Savage, who's originally from England and could possibly be deported back there as well. But it's all storylines and plot twist that is all mixed up. In the most obvious way possible, the elites have been blatantly revealing to the masses in this sick, twisted society what they have in store for the near future, which is ultimately a world of cloning. The random clips that you see on social media that go viral are spread intentionally by the elites. The higher-ups push these videos to the top of the algorithms. It then becomes word of mouth and spreads like wildfire. The elites push these so-called look-alikes, which leads people to believe that it's all just some coincidence, but truthfully it's all done by design and becomes normal. Drake also plays the role of his alleged father, Dennis Graham, as well. It's really just Drake with a mask on in blackface, literally. Hence the reason why Pusha T's artwork has Drake in blackface. And remember how Drake's father was said to have been absent in his son's life. That storyline was written to set the stage about Drake and how he was also exposed for not being in his son's Adonis life as well, although Adonis is not his real son. Just like Drake's dad is not his real father, it's really Drake. Drake is playing many roles, like Eddie Murphy in the Nutty Professor movie. People are being led to believe that all of the controversy and backlash all just happens by happenstance. The controversy that surrounded Jay-Z about his Jewish lyrics. Notice how the racial storyline transpired a year before the Drake vs. Pusha T beef, and remember Drake is Jewish. The rapper Pusha T symbolized the beast in the real Adonis story, who had killed Adonis in their war, which is why it was said that Drake lost the beef versus Pusha T and was said to have gotten destroyed. Drake was revered as a ladies' man, just like the real Adonis. Back to the character Ice Spice. Drake's relationship with Ice Spice is the elite's evil and wicked way of signaling that Drake is molesting his own son Adonis, as they are gradually normalizing pedophilia and incest in culture. There's a running joke all over the internet that Ice Spice looks more like Adonis, more than Adonis even looks like Adonis. In the story of Isis, an Egyptian deity, remember, Ice Spice's real name is Isis. Isis' brother name was Osiris, and it's rumored that Drake has a sexual relationship with the rapper/singer, YK Osiris. The masses are still oblivious to the fact that they are watching a movie. and are being mocked right in plain sight, the Ice Spice character is purposely made to be a carbon copy of the character Annie from the movie Annie, which was released in 1982 and was set during the Great Recession in 1933. And how ironic is it that it's being said that we are heading towards a new major recession now? Annie was the story of an orphan who was taken in by a rich billionaire by the name of Oliver Warbucks. When creating this plot twist, names were mixed up to trick the masses from catching on. Ironically, Mr. Warbucks buys Annie a dog who she names Sandy, and what's funny is Drake's mother name is Sandy, also who plays in the film was the Warnock's butler, whose name was none other than, you guessed it right, Drake, whose character had bushy eyebrows just like Drake.
You don't have to do any cleaning while you're here with us.
I won't? How am I gonna earn my keep?
Well, you're our guest, Annie.
When you wake, ring for Drake. Drake will bring your tray. When you wake, ring for Drake. Drake will bring your tray.
When you wake, ring for Drake. Drake will bring your tray.
Also, Drake has a very close friend named Oliver as well. Every facet of Drake's life each year is drawn from an old or current storyline in a movie or television show that happened throughout history.
I understand, like, after all these years that I'm almost a character in people's movies and therefore there's a running dialogue.
I also think that the character Ice Spice has some sort of connection with the singing group Spice Girls as well. As previously explained, in the Too Manly for Love Too Feminine to Build project, we went into full detail about how the elites are utilizing reverse psychology and other methods to gradually normalize homosexuality. For example, for this particular collaboration album run with Drake and 21 Savage in the song Rich Flex, they tricked the masses into creating a widespread conversation around Drake being gay because he asked the rapper 21 Savage to do something for him. The elites purposely used their influencers to push this narrative so that the sheep would fall in line and clown Drake also. The rapper Drake fully explained in the song Rich Flex what he wanted 21 Savage to do.
21, can you do something for me? Can you hit a little rich flex for me? And 21, can you do something for me? Drop some bars to my pussy ex for me.
But the masses were convinced to interpret this message as being gay. Why, so that gay thoughts and the idea of Drake doing something sexually to another man enters their subconscious. 21 years ago, no one would have ever thought or interpreted that as being gay. Why? Because there was less homophobia and the elites weren't heavily pushing the gay agenda. Take the film Players Club for example, when the character St. Louis asked Charlie Murphy to do something for him.
Do you
understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes, sir.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, what up, boss?
Do something to make me feel better.
I thought you'd never ask.
What you gonna do, man? What you gonna do to make you feel better, man? Come on, man, I don't owe you the money.
I told you we'd be back, didn't I?
We are. Brooklyn. Do something to make me feel better.
I'm gonna do something to make you feel great.
The reason no one questioned whether that was a gay interaction is because being with another man in a sexual way never crossed a man's mind back then, but now every little thing does because the elite is normalizing sexual fetishes that typically homosexuals would indulge in, and now the fear of becoming gay is taking over. The elites will reveal Drake is gay because he is their villain character. He takes all the wounds and backlash way before the likable characters decide to do it. So by then, you've been desensitized to it, and that way your biasness forces you to accept it. As I stated, the gay agenda is now in full effect, but it wasn't so much back then because there was not much focus on population control. The elites have the power to spin any narrative in any direction they want the sheep to follow. This is all setting the stage for gay bashing, falling under the lines of hate speech. Viral memes and clips of Drake looking feminine was purposely done. The elites are using their puppets such as Drake and others to feminize men to make it the norm. In this world of illusion, humans are not conditioned to understand what's right from wrong, but what is accepted and what's not accepted. The Shade Room and other major platforms that are co-opted by the elites could have programmed the masses that Drake was simply trying to get 21 Savage to do something like run to the store for him instead of doing something sexually, and the sheep would have believed it, but they pushed this zesty and sassy narrative. The sheep went right along with it and fell for the trap. The elites consciously weave words in a way the sheep will fill in the blank. Just recently, the female singer SZA in an in-depth interview where she finally admitted to dating Drake back in 2007. The interview went ridiculously viral when she compared the rapper Drake to a female character named Regina George from a very popular movie called Mean Girls. Many people speculated whether or not if she was implying that Drake is really gay. The masses would then laugh as Drake again became the butt of the joke, but that would be quite amusing coming from her considering that she is secretly a man herself. Moving right along, there was another character in the film, who I truly believe SZA was subliminally comparing Drake to, was a character by the name of Damian Lee, who was a gay character in the film, whose personality was known for being very flamboyant, which is very reminiscent of Drake. And may I also add that he also acts like Drake, emotional, sensitive, same behavior and mannerisms as Drake. But the real catch in all this is that the man who really plays the character Damian Lee was played by a guy by the name of Daniel Franzese, who came out as gay back in 2014. My theory is that this was the elites foreshadowing Drake coming out as gay in the near future. But my theory is this was all misdirection by the higher-ups. I believe that this was the elite's twisted way of diverting the sheep attention away, to throw the viewers off so they can't connect the dots of what's next to come, which is seeing the plot twist. The only similarities that I see that Drake shares with the character Regina George is that the actual actress that plays that character's role was born in Canada just like Drake. And it's also said that most of the film was filmed in Toronto, Canada, where Drake is from. Drake is a rapper and a former actor from the Nickelodeon teen drama television show Degrassi. We will circle back later on in this series to talk about the TV show Degrassi and how the show Degrassi mirrors Drake's so-called real life. But first, let's take a deep dive into Drake's personal life. Drake, whose real name was Aubrey Drake Graham, was born and raised in Canada. Drake's father, who's not his real dad, was also a musician as well by the name of Dennis Graham. The elites have already revealed that Drake was just an actor. They also revealed that Drake also don't write his own music. Drake's alleged father, Dennis Graham, also went on record publicly and revealed that Drake lies about his dad not being active in Drake's life to sell records. This led me to believe that Dennis Graham really isn't Drake's real father.
Drake is shooting down his dad's claim that Drake's only calls him an absent dad for the sake of his music.
I had a conversation with Drake about that. I have always been with Drake. I talk to him, if not every day, every other day.
Wow.
And we really got into a deep conversation about that. I said, Drake, why are you saying all of this different stuff about me, man? Like, this is not cool. And he goes, Dad, it sells records.
Why is he calling him Drake? Why is he calling him Drake?
Why is he calling him Drake?
Isn't his Aubrey? Yeah, Aubrey. Why is he calling his son Drake? That's weird. That's weird.
That's weird.
My theory is that the elites love to use misdirection and mockery to throw the masses off from being able to see that this is all one big twisted scripted show. Pusha T, a rapper who engaged in a rap beef with Drake, released a diss song titled The Story of Addie, which had exposed that Drake was hiding a son from the world. My theory is that this song was purposely released to subliminally reveal that Dennis Graham wasn't really Drake's dad, but they used Drake's son Adonis as a prop. Drake is not really black, which is why I think on Pusha T's cover art that he put out as a diss to Drake was Drake in blackface, to subliminally reveal to the masses that Drake really isn't black. The story of Adonis was just a storyline copied from the Greek god Adonis, who had blonde curly hair and looked very much like Drake's son Adonis. The story of the Greek god Adonis was a story of forbidden love triangles. A year prior to Pusha T release of Story of Adonis, Jay-Z would release a song titled Adonis, which is almost spelled like Adonis, just doesn't have an O in it, but Jay-Z's song Adonis meaning was somewhat similar to Pusha T's version of the Story of Adonis, but it was actually Jay-Z expressing his resentment and anger towards his father that was never in his life. The elites also slowly prepped us for Drake's hip-hop run, which some may call predictive programming, but in 2006 and 2007 was right around the time the popular show Drake and Josh came to an end, and Drake would emerge. Drake Bell, who decided to use his middle name as his stage name instead, just like Drake, was born the exact same year as Drake. Drake Bell's parents were also divorced when he was 5, just like Drake. They both were high school dropouts and musicians. Playing alongside him was a character by the name of Josh who was Jewish, could go for a knockoff version of Drake. The TV show Drake and Josh was based around two stepbrothers Drake and Josh, who lived with Drake's biological mom, Audrey. Drake's personality was cool, popular, and was a ladies' man. Josh was intellectual, clumsy, and awkward. All of the personality traits that describes both Drake and Josh are also the same personality traits that describe the rapper Drake. Back to the TV show, Degrassi. In the show Degrassi, Drake's character's name was Jimmy Brooks, who was a good basketball player. Ironically, Drake, on social media, has been showing us how he is such a good basketball player. Drake also released a song on his new album called Jimmy Cooks, which to me is a play on the name Jimmy Brooks from Degrassi. I predict that Drake may one day get shot and will roll around in a wheelchair just like on the show Degrassi.